seconds while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause. As you stand upon the edge, laying in the balance, and flame may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, awaken. You know who it is, coming round again. You want a dose of this, right now it's KD8. I'm a goddess with a blaze, 소리처럼 내 이름 잊지 못하게 loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top, 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bad gal, gal, gal. And when I started talk that, oh you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with that wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 닿을 수 없는 revolution. ready for this? Let's go. See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아? 근데 수없어 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm trouble and you running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name, ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보던 좋아할 거야. We're so tough. Let's get it, show you up. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. mistake. Will you show up? Oh, it's about damn time for a little salvation. Those flags you wave will represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. It's your history. Pride and country. You could have
pretty equal game here.
We gotta introduce you guys to Faker if you haven't seen him already. He might be just the best mid laner in the world.
처음 코스프레 시작하니까 해결할 게 많네.
I've just been building up and working on my skill set.
We're playing TFT today. This is my very first round. I am nervous as heck. Yes, assassin! Kill them!
Alright, let's do it, baby. It's time to game on.
Yeah, it's amazing because this world has been historic.
Sí, lo están viendo, victoriando. El Movistar se viene abajo.
I'm French.
Look at the arrow! Get teleport! I love this series!
Abi 1,5 saniyede ölüyoruz.
A lot of people feel like Dynamic Dude kills the competitiveness of League.
아, 이 게임 진짜 짜증나.
I made some really bad mistakes and I died a lot for no reason.
Hemos hecho mucho esfuerzo.
There's been times where even I don't believe in myself and everyone's telling me I'm washed up.
I'm really sorry to all of my fans.
I let you guys down.
All we'll have to do is get better, you know?
I got beat so bad the last game. Hopefully it goes a little bit better than before.
그렇게 끝나면 안 되지. 한 번 더.
It was these guys who made me keep going and believed in me.
Oh yeah, boom!
May your mana points overflow and your AoE stick. May supports cover your flanks. May your marksmen aim true.
Yo no me pensé estar aquí, ¿no? Entonces, es uno de los ejemplos que quisiera dar a todas las personas.
Anything is possible.
Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. Wish you luck, pero nunca vencerás. Go hard, till we get it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
Hey everyone, Joe here again on behalf of the League dev team. Today, we have a very special Riot Please for you. Of course, we're going to tell you all about our plans for the upcoming preseason. We'll also give you an update on TFT and much more. In fact, we've got a lot of great updates to share today, so be sure to stay tuned through the end of the show. But before we cover any of that, I want to talk about something important. This month marks a very special occasion. In just over a week, it'll have been 10 years to the day since League's official release date. For us, League has always been a game that we build together with all of you. Truth is, you've always been the ones who've made League more than just a game. You've made incredible art. You've created memes. You've showed us in a million different ways that you care about League, that games matter enough to become a meaningful part of your lives. You've helped us make League more than a game. For us, celebrating League's 10-year anniversary is a chance to say thank you to all of you who've helped us build League, brick by brick. And to show our appreciation, here's what we've got planned. First up, 10 days of gifting. For 10 days, starting October 17th, we'll be celebrating you, the League community, with a small gift every day you log in. And no, it's not just summoner icons, although of course we gotta give you one of those. All you'll need to qualify is a League account that was created before this broadcast began. We want the rest of this month to feel like a real celebration, so expect to see SR looking a little brighter than normal. Your shop is coming back, and because it's a special occasion, for the first time ever, there'll be a chance that your shop contains legendary tier skins. In the past, we've spoken about our reasons for moving away from classic URF to the all-random URF mode. But this is a time to celebrate and pull out all the stops. So for the first time in over 4 years, we're bringing back URF with full champion select. It'll be available from October 28th through November 8th, so you can keep the celebration going. Over the last decade, you haven't just helped make League a great game, you've helped make the world a better place. All the way back in 2010, you bought the URF Warwick skin, and together we raised money to save actual manatees. In 2011, after a devastating earthquake in Japan, you and Nurse Akali raised more than $160,000 for the Red Cross and provided relief to hundreds of thousands of people in need. The following year, you banded together and through the Jacksima skin contributed to the Make-A-Wish Foundation in honor of a League player named Joe. In 2017, we committed over $2 million from the proceeds from Championship Ash to 3 great charities that you voted for. And last year, with the help of Brian, a cancer survivor who helped us design the Dark Star Cho'Gath skin, you all raised over $6 million for 20 charities around the world. That's the power of the League community. When we come together, we can accomplish truly remarkable things all over the world, in all of the communities we're a part of. And we know there's a huge appetite out there to do even more. So today, we're announcing a new initiative called the Riot Games Social Impact Fund. This unique nonprofit will be the engine for our collective efforts around global social impact. Since establishing the fund earlier this year, we've already donated over $4 million to charities around the world. As a global game, we know it's important for you to choose which charities the money raised in your region goes to. And that's what this fund will make possible. Later this year, we'll be releasing Dawnbringer Karma, the first skin where all proceeds will go to the Social Impact Fund. On behalf of everyone at Riot, thank you for everything you've done. The good we can do together is just getting started. Okay, let's hear about what we've got planned for preseason.
Hey everyone, Jess here. Before we get into preseason, I want to share a small announcement that'll make players in one particular part of the world happy. We know that there are many League players in the Middle East and North Africa who love League and have been playing on European and North American servers, and that we can do a better job of supporting them. We are proud to announce that we will be supporting these players by gradually offering all Riot Games products and services in Arabic. Okay, on to preseason changes. Over the years, Summoner's Rift has changed a lot. Sometimes in small adjustments to things you're already familiar with, and sometimes in complete overhauls or totally new additions. We've always thought of Summoner's Rift as a living, breathing place with enough depth to be fun and interesting, whether it's your first time playing, or if you're a season of the elements, we'll introduce new, emergent gameplay opportunities on the map, meant to open fresh strategies to master, outplay, and win. The biggest change here is the new Elemental Rift system. As teams take down Elemental Drakes, one element will eventually dominate the Rift, permanently altering the map. Each Elemental Rift impacts teamfights, rotations, vision, and objective control in a unique way, meaning no one game will play out the same as the last, even if everyone's on the same champ. Infernal knocks down walls and burns down brush. Mountain adds new terrain to play around. Ocean makes brush grow larger and spawn extra honey fruit, and Cloud turns pathways into wind tunnels that increase movement speed. Elemental buffs are also getting an overhaul, with the final stack of each element offering powerful effects that aren't just stats. Plus, Cloud Drake should be more satisfying now that we've switched it to grant CDR on your ult. And don't worry, we're not letting Elder Dragon be one-upped by its younger siblings. When the game gets to Elder, we know the game's progressed pretty far. And to that end, we want to change the invisible parts of Elder buff into power that more clearly tells you to fight and push through to the end. Elder buff's keeping its burn effect, but instead of the large passive stat stick Elder currently gives, it'll now ground and execute against enemies below a certain health threshold. Dragons aside, we're also making a few map changes to add more outplay opportunities. Top and bot are getting new alcoves to shake up vision control and ganks, and we're adding some new brush by the blue buff river entrances. That's just the start of what preseason has to offer. We'll be publishing a dev blog shortly after the stream with more info on these changes, plus a ton of others we didn't have the time to get to here. Next up, we've got a piece to show you. Following his relentless pursuit of his nemesis, Lucian finally comes face to face with his past, kicking off a new chapter of one of League's oldest rivalries. Check it out. That's right, Senna is coming to League of Legends as our first ever support marksman. She'll be available on PvE October 29th. Summoner's Rift isn't the only mode that's evolving this year. Let's talk a little bit about League's newest permanent game mode, Teamfight Tactics. When we launched Teamfight Tactics earlier this year, we hoped you'd love it, and the response has blown us away. TFT has brought millions of players to League. It's one of the biggest modes we've ever added to League, and it has us feeling incredibly inspired about ways we can keep investing into TFT for years to come. One of the biggest ways we're going to be changing the game in the near future is with seasonal sets. A couple of times per year, we'll rotate in a whole new host of champions, origins, classes, and items. TFT will always be about strategic depth and exploration. In the new sets, we'll keep some of the mechanics familiar, but we'll also reimagine a few favorites, and we'll introduce others that are totally new. Thematically, we can explore the entire League universe and the alternate universes by drawing deep from the whole spectrum of champions and skins that we've created in the past 10 years. The first seasonal set is coming to live servers in just 3 weeks. It's called Rise of the Elements, just like Preseason. It will feature totally new origins like Desert, Inferno, Poison, and new classes including the Summoners and Mystics. New champions like Lux, Annie, Olaf, and even some old favorites bringing new twists. Those that played in the beta season will get rewarded for their climb, and we'll reset the ladder as we bring improvements to the system. And of course, Set 2 wouldn't be complete without a whole new host of little legends, arena skins, and some brand new things to make you and your team look good. It'll hit PvE October 22nd, and we've just published a dev blog on LeagueOfLegends.com with more details. Check it out and let us know what you think. One more thing. From the moment we launched TFT, players have been asking for a mobile version of the game. It turns out, you guys actually do have phones. So by popular demand, we're announcing Teamfight Tactics as its own separate app for iOS and Android devices. It's coming in early 2020, and we'll have a few betas coming in December of this year. It'll feature full cross-platform play with the PC version of TFT. Hope you enjoy it.
We hope you're as excited as we are for what's coming for SR and TFT. There's something else we'd like to share. It's something we've been working on for a while, and some of you might even be expecting it. TFT isn't the only thing going multi-platform. Coming soon, we'll be bringing the League experience to both mobile and consoles. So let's take a first look at League of Legends Wild Rift.
Hey there, it's Michael Chow. I've been dying to talk to you about the Wild Rift, which is coming soon to console and mobile. It's taken us years, way too long to do this, but we had to get it right. We needed to figure out how to bring a true League experience to other platforms in a way that's worthy of your love, your time, your investment. And we think we've finally gotten there with the Wild Rift, and we're thrilled to be able to share it with you. Now, why bring League to other platforms in the first place? Well, for years, many of you have been telling us that the marquee League PC experience is sometimes tough to fit into your lifestyle, which can change from 1 week to the next, 1 month to the next, 1 year to the next. You've also been telling us that you simply can't play League with a lot of the friends you love to game with. Yes, because of their lifestyles as well, but also because League takes a long time to learn. The matches are really long and so on. So we built a new Rift that you can play on console and mobile with 15 to 20 minute matches and a dual stick control scheme that's intuitive and satisfying and still super deep. We've also added some new systems that preserve the core 5v5 gameplay you know, while adding a few twists that we think really shine on mobile and console. Now, Wild Rift is not a port of the PC game. Taking SR and just shoving it onto new platforms wasn't going to work. To get the gameplay just right, we needed to rebuild from scratch. We spent a long time making sure this will be a true League of Legends experience that's worthy of devoting your precious game time. Wild Rift has incredible depth, and you can make those same badass 200 IQ outplays and team plays you know and love from League PC. And we'll be straight with you. There are some downsides to the from-scratch approach we've taken. We're not going to have every single champ and skin available on all platforms. And although you won't get the same unlocks between League on PC and this version, you will get great rewards for the time you've spent with League over the last 10 years. But like I said, we think these trade-offs are worth it. Starting from scratch has given us the opportunity to do a full visual remaster on a ton of the game. We've also taken the time to build an all-new collection system that lets you show off all your champs and skins in an incredibly immersive way. We think this is so dope, we're just going to play this for a bit so you can enjoy it. We've got so much more to show you, but that's everything from me for now. As you saw earlier, League on PC has some huge plans ahead, but we'd love for you to join us on the Wild Rift when the game releases in your region. We're rolling out limited alphas and betas in select regions later this year, with plans to roll out on most platforms and most regions globally by the end of 2020. So whether you're grinding ranked on Summoner's Rift, popping poros in ARAM, going full glacial in TFT, or squeezing in a game on the Wild Rift, we hope that there's a place for you and your friends to dive into the world of League together.
Ten years ago, being an esports fan was hard. Tournaments were few and far between. Streaming was still in its infancy.
When we held our Season 1 tournament at DreamHack, we had like 100 folding chairs, half of them were empty, but you tuned in en masse, 1 million on the stream, and that show of force gave us the permission to go big, to lay the groundwork for a sport that would be worthy of the passion from the players and the teams and the fans.
We saw the potential, but our journey was not without setbacks and failures.
Along the way, we faced our fair share of detractors.
We often struggle to deliver an experience worthy of your expectations. But you continue to show up.
A record-shattering 99.6 million viewers tuned in to watch Invictus Gaming face off against Fnatic at last year's World Championship.
지금은 100개가 넘는 전문 e스포츠 팀에 1000명 이상의 프로 선수들이 전 세계 13개의 프로 리그에서 경쟁합니다.
These organizations now mirror more traditional sports orgs.
It's coaches, analysts, personal trainers, and sponsors.
There are thousands of professionals around the world whose full-time careers are in the sport of League of Legends.
In the years ahead, you'll see more features like ProView and more blending of sports and entertainment with experiences like the Elder Dragon and KDA.
Even if you're silver in League, you can prove you're a challenger to your coach in the new League of Legends Esports Manager coming out next year.
我们将在下赛季初从 LPL 赛区开始着手这件事情，并最终尝试把它向全球范围内推广。
You'll see more investment into studios like the one we're in right now, which was developed to power not only our LPL league, but also our 10th World Championship, a multi-city spectacle taking place in China next year.
Now the next few years of esports will no doubt be epic. But more immediately, we're just as excited about what's right in front of us, the 2019 World Championship.
16 teams from around the world are competing in Berlin for the chance to raise the Summoners Cup. Top teams who survive the group stage will travel to Madrid before completing their journey on November 10th at the 2019 World Finals in Paris.
We are so grateful to all of you for watching, for supporting, and for believing in the potential of League. We could not have done this without you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Teşekkürler.
감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you for helping make League of Legends a global sport.
For all of you and all the support you've put into League of Legends, thank you so much.
Even in the early days, we knew we wanted League to be about characters with rich personalities, clearly defined themes, and deep gameplay. But we were all passion and heart with very little practical expertise. Some of our early efforts managed to capture something magical, but we knew a lot of them had room to improve. We've always believed that we've made something great when it resonates deeply with you all. All that love that you put into our world and the appreciation you show when we get something right inspires us to keep trying. At first, the League universe existed only within the game. Then, we realized players wanted to know more about the world, but we were a little scared that we were going to screw it up. So, we invested in small experiments to try to get better. But now we're entering a new era. You're going to see us try a lot of different ways for you to engage with the world of League of Legends. From comics to novels, board games, music videos, TV. I know this all sounds a little crazy, but like with everything we do, we're going to look to you to let us know what's working, and we'll double down on those areas.
Hey, Toa. How's the latest sounding? Oh, it's pretty good, thank you. Hold up, wait. Yeah, man, that sounded great. Thanks. Hey guys, how's the world's going? Hey, it's going really well. We have to go, dude. See you in Paris.
And I was calling you, and you hear them screaming out your name. Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they run into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, guys. Legends never die when the world's calling you, and you hear them screaming out your name. Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness. Legends never die.
So for the last 10 years, we haven't just been making League of Legends.
We always knew we wanted to make new games eventually, but not at the expense of, the growth and the needs of League of Legends.
A lot of us spent our youth playing shooters, like really hard shooters.
Strategy games.
It had a Street Fighter II machine.
I love games that bring me somewhere new.
One of my all-time favorite games, for example, is Civilization. The single-player side, not the multiplayer side.
Magic the Gathering, by far.
I've been a card game player my whole life.
I grew up playing lots of classic adventure games.
I play a lot of MMORPGs, which tend to last basically forever.
I was going to the arcade every day after school.
I've been a dungeon master for 30 years.
I think Riot is a collection of people that started as players that wanted to make new experiences or better experiences, so they became developers while remaining players.
Whether you're a tactical shooter fan, or a fighting game fan, or a strategy card game fan, you can count on Riot to support those needs with a really, really strong long-term mindset.
Even though we all love League of Legends, I think we also all love to imagine the possibility of what would it be like to run around and explore the world of Runeterra? How could we enable experiences for players to go explore with their friends?
I hope that in the same way when you see a Disney movie and then you go to Disneyland and getting to actually walk around and explore a space that you know really well feels so magical, I hope that's the kind of experience that we can give to players. That feeling of actually seeing something and then going there in person and wandering around as though it were real.
We didn't build League of Legends, right? We started it, we seeded it, and then we built it with the community of players, right? The players have showed us ways to play our game that we never imagined, right? And they're continuing to do that.
We just exposed a whole bunch of information about what we're making. As we become, I think, more transparent, that they will know that we are always thinking about them first.
As a developer, it's such an exciting time when you've been working on something sort of behind the scenes for such a long period of time, and you start to show it to the rest of the world to get feedback.
About a month ago at EVO, we were able to share news about Project L with fighting game fans around the world, live and in person. That was a crazy, surreal experience because we've been working on this for a little while and we've always had to be so secretive. What I think League of Legends players expect from this game is different, but in some ways harmonious with what I think fighting game players expect from this game. Everyone wants a great game, but what we've been seeing is that people are really excited to see Runeterran champions in a new light, even from a new camera angle. Making fighting games is really, really tough. These are intricate games to make, and while we're a good ways towards making something that we think is really cool, we still have a long way to go. We're gonna go dark for a while after this, so please don't expect anything soon, but know that we're here working hard for you.
My hope is that Riot continues on for many, many years and decades to come as a company that players can count on to have their back.
We're really excited to see how people react, and we believe that there's an incredible opportunity to sort of make some player dreams come true in a bunch of new ways, and we hope we can do that.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna, and I'm the executive producer on one of those games you just saw, codenamed Project A. We've talked about our philosophy on developing new games here at Riot, but I figured we could also show you some. We're making new games, and this one's different, so here it is. Project A is our character-based tactical shooter. It's competitive, it has precise gunplay, it's set on a beautiful near-future Earth, and it has a lethal cast of characters, each with their own unique abilities. This is our take on a competitive shooter. We promise that just like League, we're in this for years and years to come. With Project A, we're staying true to the high-consequence gameplay of tac shooters. But we want to evolve the space. We want a tac shooter with more creativity, more expression, and a lot more style. In Project A, your abilities create amazing tactical opportunities for your gunplay to shine. We started with a crew of veteran developers who have a deep passion and a wide range of experience in the FPS space. But it's not enough to have the right team. We also need to solve the right problems. But what does that really mean? Well, we're all tired of seeing our bullets not register because of low server tick rates. We keep hearing buzzwords like dedicated servers, but almost nothing about low ping or how a game plans to fight Peeker's advantage. But with Project A, we're going big on things like global infrastructure and netcode designed to go to war on Peeker's advantage. You'll hear more technical details as we get closer to launch, but just know, we know, these are critical things to get right. Now let's talk about the cheaters. We know you hate second-guessing if you really lost, or if someone was running an aimbot or a wall hack. From day one, we have put anti-cheat at the forefront of our development, and we will do whatever it takes to preserve the integrity of your matches. We want to be firm in our commitment here, because this matters to us, and we know it really matters to you. And these are just some examples of what we mean when we say we want to do a character-based tactical shooter right. We're keeping the fundamentals that make this genre so competitive, but also bringing some new additions. We're going heads down for a while, but expect to hear more from us in 2020. In the meantime, keep an eye on our Riot Games Twitter feed for any updates and maybe a few cool teases. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jew.
I'm Andrew Yip.
And we have a confession.
We're making a card game.
What? Okay. We know what some of you might be thinking. Riot, there are plenty of card games. Why are you making another one?
And we get it. We've been playing them since we were kids, so we're super familiar with the flaws of our favorite genre. Spending an entire paycheck just to try another deck, over-the-top RNG deciding which player wins, metas that get solved way too fast, and cards that stay broke way too long. So we asked ourselves, what if we could change all that?
We spent a lot of time thinking about what we would do differently. And now we're aiming to shake up the card game formula by keeping what's great, improving what's not, and adding some new twists of our own. We've been hard at work making the best card game that we can imagine, one that we hope players everywhere will love. And we're super excited to show you what we've got so far.
Today, we're going to share 3 things we hope will excite you too. How we're bringing the world of League of Legends to this game, what makes our gameplay unique, and finally, how you unlock cards.
Let's do it. When we decided to make a card game in the League of Legends universe, we knew where we had to start, the champions. Ask any League player and they'll tell you why their main is the most badass, exciting, and satisfying champ to play. Our goal is to make the champions in Legends of Runeterra live up to those expectations and then some. In the first set, you can choose from 24 champion cards to include in your deck, each with a unique mechanic inspired by their original League abilities. Champions enter the battle as powerful cards, and if you play smart, they level up to become even more epic. These level ups are game-changing moments both strategically and visually.
Champions are key cards to build your deck around, but to take down the enemy nexus, you're going to need a team. Pick allies that support your champ's strategy to level up fast and take control of the board.
And you have tons of supporting cards to choose from. You'll encounter some familiar faces and discover completely new ones. Every card and character in the game comes from a region of Runeterra. At launch, you have access to cards from 6 major regions: Demacia, Noxus, Freljord, Piltover and Zon, Ionia, and the Shadow Isles. Each region has a distinct playstyle and strategic advantage. But things get even more interesting when you combine cards from 2 different regions. There's a deck for every personality and playstyle. But it's up to you to find the right cards for your winning strategy, or a different kind of strategy.
We believe the best card games are the ones where you make meaningful choices and constantly interact with your opponent, while the worst ones feel like complicated solitaire. So, we're designing Legends in Runeterra to really focus on that back and forth between you and the player on the other side of the screen. Each of you trying to anticipate the other's move and then beat them to the punch. You'll probably start with a strategy in mind and a win condition on the horizon. But as you alternate actions with your opponent, you'll need to think quick and make on-the-fly decisions. It's all about finding opportunities to predict what your opponent will do next, adapt your strategy, and achieve that ultimate outplay. The moment when you pull off your plan and make the move that wins you the game.
In our experience, these moments are the best part of a good card game. So we want to increase how often they happen and ensure that there are multiple paths to get there.
Now, we could spend hours talking about all the ways you can win, but they told us to keep this video short, so here's a few. In Legends of Runeterra, it's skill above all. No game is over until it's over, and there will always be new cards and strategies to discover.
But there's probably still a big question on your mind. How do I actually get all these cards? We thought for a long time about what we, as players, would want the answer to be. With most card games, it takes a lot of time, money, or luck to get what you want. And if the only way you can get cards is at random, that sucks. We think one of the most fun aspects of a card game is experimenting with the different kinds of decks to find your style.
And that's really hard to do when unlocking new stuff is too random or too expensive. So one of our top priorities is to give you more choice in how you get your cards. To start, Legends of Runeterra is free to play. As you play, you'll complete quests and earn experience to advance and automatically unlock new cards. But which region you unlock first is totally up to you.
You decide where your cards come from and can switch regions whenever you want, which makes assembling your dream deck a whole lot easier.
We get how fun Kraken packs can be. It's paying for the card lottery that really sucks. So at the start of each week, you'll also unlock chests from the vault. These chests level up the more you play. They can also contain wild cards, which can be turned into any card you want, no guessing required. But we know sometimes you just want a guaranteed way to get specific cards too. So instead of waiting for the right drop, you can unlock cards for your collection using shards you've earned or coins you've bought.
Bottom line, in Legends of Runeterra, you will never pay for randomized packs. And you have a bunch of different ways to get the cards you actually want. No matter what, you'll end up with multiple decks for both casual duels and the competitive meta.
We're really excited to focus less on selling packs and more on the things that make a card game great. Deep, interactive strategy, frequent releases and balance updates, and endless experimentation.
We hope that by focusing on these things above all else, Legends of Runeterra can grow to become more than just a game. Like League back in 2009, we believe the journey is just beginning, and with your help, we can create something incredible together. What you've seen today is a foundation which we intend to build on for years to come. The full PC beta is coming in early 2020, and you can pre-register for both PC and mobile right now at playruneterra.com.
We bought that URL, right guys? .com?
And I know we said we only have 3 things to share today, but we might actually have one more. Are we ready?
Guess we'll find out.
For the next 5 days, we're rolling out a special preview patch of Legends of Runeterra on PC. Head to playruneterra.com and pre-register for a chance to get access right now. You can also check out live streams on Twitch to see more gameplay and link your Riot account to increase your chance at getting access.
A lot of things are work in progress, and we're still developing the final features, but we're super excited for you all to get a first look. And if you don't get a chance to play this time around, don't worry. We'll be back with another preview patch before the end of the year.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and until then, we hope you enjoy your first peek at Legends of Runeterra.
We love it when we have the opportunity to connect with all of you directly. And so much has happened since we all started on this journey over 10 years ago that we really just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. We've always aspired to be worthy of the passion, the love, and the dedication that you all have for League, and we are committed to bringing that same level of care and attention to everything that we do in the future.
And I really want to emphasize the thank you for sticking with us through the ups and downs of this journey, through painful server outages and game-breaking bugs, our failures to listen and get certain things right, tons of misfires and missteps, not to mention about 72 different Rise reworks. Because through it all, we've built together over the last 10 years, this game, this community, this sport, and this world of Runeterra. And on that last note, we're committed to finding ways to bring the stories from Runeterra to life. And before we wrap, we'd like to share a glimpse into one last thing that we've been working on.
It's time to let the monster out.
Cast a spell outside of combat or as a reaction to the changing battle. When your allies are set to clash with the enemy, you could bolster them with a quick buff. In response, your opponent may sneak in a shady move. While you consider a counter of your own, keep in mind, every action has a reaction.
No one belongs in chains.
As the magic maneuvers start to pile up, Oracle's Eye can help forecast the outcome before you fully commit. Once the chain of action-reaction is complete, the sequence goes off.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Victory or defeat, each battle brings experience and progress. Choose which region you explore first and unlock the cards that call to you, changing regions as often as you'd like. As you advance, you'll collect new allies, spells, and champions. More than enough for multiple decks. You'll also come across wild cards, which can be turned into any card you want. No guessing required. Alternatively, use the shards you earn and the coins you've bought to acquire cards from the store. How you get cards is your choice. Once a week, the vault opens. Experiment with an abundance of new cards to discover your playstyle and craft your strategy. As your collection grows, so do the possibilities. And the journey is just beginning. Soon, you'll be able to embark on expeditions and draft a deck as you go. Overcome as many opponents as you can with an evolving set of cards. Or truly test your skill by taking your strategy into ranked and see where you stand among the best players in Runeterra. Where you go from here is up to you. From the champions to the combat, the regions to the reactions, every choice you make is a chance to be legendary.
Welcome back. I'm Julian Pastry Time Carr, and I'm very excited to bring you through Legends of Runeterra. Well, I'll be trying to get ahead of some questions you might have about the League of Legends card game. We're also adding more players to the preview patch for Legends of Runeterra all the time. So to get a chance at access, here's what you have to do. Link your Riot account to your YouTube or Twitch account, watch the stream, and wait for the drop. You can sign up right now at playruneterra.com. Now, design director of Legends of Runeterra, Andrew Yip, will be joining us a bit later on, so please tweet out your questions to @playruneterra, as we'll have a Q&A. For me though, the easiest way to get you acquainted is just to play the thing. So let's get right into it. To start things out, I'll be piloting the Demacian Freljord starter deck. This is actually one of the decks you get as you move through the initial stages of playing the game. So okay, we get 4 cards. We're gonna mulligan. As you can see, you have how much the card costs in the top left. If you've played a lot of card games, a lot of this stuff will probably be familiar to you, but the things that aren't as familiar we'll get into as we go along. So I decided I want to replace these 2 cards. We'll draw 2 more here. Our friendly robot opponent has decided to wave, so I guess we'll wave back. All right, so we've drawn a unit here. We'll play Sithria of Cloudfield. You know, cost 1, pretty cheap. Is a 2/2. But this is a little different. So we're gonna play a card. We also have the attack token, as you can see on your right. There's a little glowing sword. And also the sword in front of you means we're the attacker this round. However, our opponent's the defender, so they can just play a blocker. I decided that, you know what, it's fine to just have some combat here. So we'll go ahead and trade, and I'll pass the turn. As noted, each round you'll tick up and get a little bit more mana. So now my opponent, it's their turn to attack. And unfortunately for me, I don't have too much I can do here, so I'm gonna have to take this straight to the face. Any damage that goes unblocked goes through to the Nexus, and you start with 20 health on that Nexus. Much like in League of Legends, when it explodes, you lose the game, so make sure that doesn't happen. You might have also noticed though that there's a little mana bar under my regular mana bar. We'll talk about that in a second, because right now we have to talk about the champions. So, this is Braum. He's the champion of the Freljord.
What do we got here?
Again, every action in Legends of Runeterra is an exchange. So when I do something, my opponent can do something, but champions tend to have a lot of abilities, so we'll kind of read through what they do here. So Challenger can choose which enemy blocks. There's a little hook symbol. As you might imagine, you kind of hook enemies to you. You'll see that in a moment. Braum also has an ability called Regeneration, which it means at the end of the turn, he gets his health back. Normally, damage sustained on units is permanent, not temporary. So as you see, I have a spell now. As you've noticed, I've got a little pool of mana in the bottom there called spell mana. Now, every turn, mana that you don't spend up to 3 rolls into your bank called spell mana. So I attack with Braum, challenge the 3/1 unit in front of it, play the Radiant Strike to give it +1/+1 in combat, and get a kill. Braum also, as you may have noticed, has a level up condition. This is true of all the champions in Legend of Runeterra. They start at level 1 and they can level up to their next level where they get even stronger. Now, all the conditions are different and they're very thematic for the champion. Braum's happens to be when he survives 10 damage, he levels up. So he gets his health back every turn. He doesn't have attack unless you buff him, which we're doing here. But again, as Braum takes more damage, he'll just get stronger and stronger until he levels up. So now my opponent's attacking, he's decided to move everything in. So we're gonna have to do some blocks here. We'll block the 2-1 with the 2-3. That seems pretty reasonable. Of course, my opponent has a spell. Again, you can play spells anytime with one exception. You'll probably see that in a few moments. But Braum's gonna block. He's gonna continue moving towards that level up. And I'm going to keep him buffed. You'll maybe also notice that the spell I used earlier, Radiant Strike, gave +1/+1, only lasts for the combat because it says ends this round. Any buffs in Legends of Runeterra that don't explicitly say when they end, don't end. They're actually just permanent. So the Blade Keeper that buffed my Braum earlier is actually giving him attack, which he normally doesn't have. So now I'm challenging units, I'm able to knock down my opponent's units, and oh, by the way, I leveled up. Braum's ability when he levels up makes a lot of sense. We'll have a look at it now. When I survive damage, summon a Mighty Poro. Because of course, Braum needs to bring his friends along to the party. Mighty Poro is a 3/3 Poro. It has an ability called Overwhelm, which means it deals excess damage whenever it gets blocked. So kind of the additional damage deals over to the Nexus. And then I'll play this marksman here just to deal 1 to the full 1 on my opponent's side of the board. So all things considered, my opponent is clearly not too happy with what's going on, and I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm also going to continue the theme of this deck. As you may have noticed, Braum is a unit that gets a lot of value by surviving through damage and then being grown bigger and bigger. So I'll play Braum's signature spell, actually Take Heart. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point in the future, but there's already a lot of information, and at this point, Braum is really set to take over this game. My opponent has a 6/5. Braum is much, much bigger than that, so Braum's doing work here. I don't have that much health left on my Nexus, but I think if we can take over the board, I think we can outfox the AI opponent. So again, you may have noticed now we're going to have that exchange continuing. My opponent plays a unit, I'm going to play a unit, and then they're going to go ahead and declare an attack. And you'll see this come up as we play through more Legends of Runeterra, but you'll notice that attacking, and when you attack in particular, is a really important decision you have to make. Because attacking is just another action you can take, and every single round, which is like a turn in a lot of other games that you've probably played, each round, players take turns making actions. So every time you do something, you kind of give the ball back to your opponent and give them the ability to do something else. Now, I don't want to take too much damage here, so I'm happy to just trade off. Deal some damage there to the 7/2 creature that you now see, and Braum is just continuing to make Poros. So I have 2 cards left. My robot opponent only has 1. Braum is just getting larger and larger, and it doesn't feel like my opponent can really remove it. So you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's play out the rest of our hand, and I think this game's going to be wrapped up in short order. Now, if all of this for just a simple starter game sounds a lot, it is. Legends of Runeterra does have a lot of complexity, but there should be enough familiarity that if you've played card games before, even if you're brand new, and especially if you're a League of Legends player, I think there's a lot here that you should be able to unpack and really discover. I think Braum, as an example, the fact that he makes Poro friends just kind of makes sense thematically, and the champions are by far and away some of the most powerful cards in the game, and rightly so. And if you have a favorite champion, the champions that currently are in the game are probably going to feel quite close to that as well, just because they play out in a very thematic way. So we'll see more champions as we go through more games today, but for now, Braum and the Poro army seems to have this game under wraps. I have a gigantic board, my opponent has basically nothing, and we'll see what assault my little AI opponent has left, but don't think the 2-1's gonna really stand up here. So we'll go ahead, play this Kindly Tavern Keeper just to heal something here. As you may have noticed, some units have abilities. When you play them, you just pick your target and it goes off from there. Again, if you have played card games before, a lot of this will be familiar, but I would pay attention to spell mana, which we did see once. Again, that's the tiny little mana bar underneath your main one there. Champions, which are the unique card in the game and very thematic to how the rest of that works. And looks like we are just going to end the game here. So Brom's going to go ahead and deliver, the last kill to this creature, and then the rest of the Poros are going to get it all done. So that was just one game of Legends of Runeterra to kind of introduce it for you all. I hope you guys got a grasp on the champions, the fact that you can play spells, the fact that you have spell mana, and then there's an action exchange. That's kind of the few things that we're going to look at there. But design director Andrew Yip has taken precious time out of a very busy day to join me here to talk about Legends of Runeterra. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Julian. Super excited to be here, being part of this day.
Very excited to talk about this. So we are going to shift gears for game 2, actually. So we are going to try out another deck, but one that Andrew is personally fond of. If you wouldn't mind describing it a little bit, we did see it in the L10 video.
Yeah, what was the name of the L10 video? Big Zed's
buffet.
Big Zed's party. Yeah. So Zed in Legends of Runeterra, for our kind of first take on him, really focuses on Zed and the Shadow Ninjas that he creates. So basically, the strategy for the deck is Zed, whenever he attacks, he clones himself, and those clones actually preserve all the buffs. So the strategy is really simple. Get Zed in play, keep him alive, buff him, attack, and kill your opponent.
Yeah, and I played a couple rounds with it. It's definitely quite a lot of fun. And you know what's a really good way to kind of get things going and show people this? Let's play some games.
Right on.
All right, let's play some Legends of Runeterra, and we're going to do something, I don't know, perhaps ill-advised on a live stream, but no, we're going to do it live, because that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, because the servers are definitely up.
I guess, yeah. I mean, you know what? We're going to find out together. All right, let's jump in queue. So this is Andrew's pet deck. It should be a lot of fun, and hopefully this gives you an idea of what kind of the live flow of a game of Legends of Runeterra looks like. We'll also probably talk about spell speeds, because that's something we didn't get to in the last one, and that comes up quite a lot in this deck. So again, lots of familiar concepts. I know you've played a ton of card games yourself, but the things that you do know are quite different in this game, and we'll see those play out. Of course, you have to find an opponent, but I'm sure we'll find one in just a moment.
It's good that we got the first W against that.
Exactly,
AI.
We had to take down the AI.
Yeah,
Brom got it done.
We're about to find out how we're somehow already the worst Legends of Runeterra players in the
already.
world. Yep.
All this experience and
5 minutes in.
All right, so while we're waiting, we actually can talk about spell speeds because that's something that we didn't get to cover. So there are 3 different spell speeds: slow, fast, and burst. Now, the first 2 are relatively straightforward. Slow is just a spell that you play it, and that's kind of your action for the turn.
That's right. Yeah. So slow spells basically you play in the center and your opponent can reply. Fast spells are the same, but you can do them in the midst of combat. And burst spells are kind of the fastest spells. That's what this deck leverages a lot. Those happen immediately and allow you to continue playing.
All right, well, let's get it done. Looks like our robot friend has decided he'd like a rematch.
Oh, free dubs, I'll take it.
All right. So unfortunately, we're on defense for turn 1, but that's gonna be okay.
Did we maul already?
Yeah.
All right. You're piloting. I'm just gonna backseat drive.
That's fine, I'm down. All right, so we'll just trade back here. Oh, we played the same creature. So we can't block because we got stunned. Feels bad, man.
Spiders, what can you do?
No, you might see a lot of them if you tune into Legends of Runeterra streams in the next few days.
Hopefully there are not many arachnophobes. Looking forward to playing this game.
All right, I'm down. We'll play the lookout. So why is this in the deck, actually? This is one of the things I was like, I kind of understand what's happening.
Yeah, so the Zed buff deck is kind of a combo deck where you're really just trying to get enough resources, mana and spell mana, to play Zed and then protect him or buff him. So Ionia doesn't actually have a lot of access to kind of like ways to generate mana. That's actually one of the few examples. So by reducing the cost of Zed, we can bank and save more mana and basically get our kind of like go off turn around earlier.
Makes sense. Actually, one of the things that I didn't point out, but I think as you watch the game becomes a bit more obvious, is that you can attack as soon as you play a unit, which is very different from a lot of other games.
That's right, and I think it'll catch a lot of players off guard. One of the critical decisions is as soon as your turn starts on your attack round, you have the choice of deploying units kind of on curve so that your attack force is bigger, or attacking immediately before your opponent has the opportunity to set up, right?
All right, well, we'll play the assassin here. Draw a card, has elusive, which means it can only be blocked by other elusive units.
Yeah, so elusive in this deck is kind of like our plan B if Zed, if Zed bites the dust, or we just don't draw him, because the buffs on the elusive units are much harder to block, so we're still kind of going faces of place.
It's also a plan, like, plan nothing right now. We're just gonna throw him under the bus.
We're Yeah, just maybe we should talk less about the game and worry more about taking L's to AI here.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I'm pretty sure my team's watching. So there's some credibility on the line here.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. You know what?
We really need some spells.
It's a Zed buff deck.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and buff.
Yeah, let's start the plan.
So not a spell, but can still get it done. Actually, there's something else that's cool we can talk about here. So champions are unique.
That's right. You can only have one in play of a particular name.
But I have 2 Zeds in my hand. What happens when I play the Zed?
Let's find out.
All right, let's find out. Oh,
it worked. Glorious.
He turned into a spell. So
yeah. So basically, units in champions in play are unique. Whenever you have multiple copies of a champion, the remaining copy in your hand will actually flip over and basically become a champion-themed spell. That spell tends to be related to the champion and whatever its level of condition is. So in this case, if you hover over Shadow Shift, what Shadow Shift does is it actually allows you to replace one of your units in play with a Zed Shadow. And that way, you can kind of surprise your opponent and achieve Zed's level up condition in a surprising way, or you can save Zed in play by returning him to your hand and replacing him with a Shadow Ninja.
yeah, as you can see, that's the level up condition. Zed just wants to hit the Nexus. We're gonna go for...
It's our defense here.
Do we have to block? Oh, gross.
How embarrassing.
How embarrassing.
How embarrassing. Spiders on the run.
Oh, the chefs are in. Should have played this first. Don't worry about sequencing.
Yeah,
that's a
yikes,
right?
yeah.
All right, well, the beatdown is continuing, but we can find some reasonable blocks here, I think. Oh, goodness. I take it back, they're not that reasonable.
We're at 12?
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine, it's fine.
We need to slow this down.
It's called Frontline Assault, okay? It's living up to its name.
That's true.
Oh no, we just got totally outplayed. All right, well, Zed's getting there. I feel like I can see a plan brewing.
I think it's time for a little fastball special with Zed. Yeah, Kato the arm. That's right.
Thematically, is Kato like...
Shout out to all my comic nerds.
Is Kato like throwing...
Yeah, so Kato the arm is a support unit. And the way that support works in this game is basically when you attack, actually attack order matters.
Yes.
Because from left to right, the combat is going to resolve. The way support works is supporting units will support the attacking ally to the right. So in this case, Kato the arm basically is going to throw Zed at our opponent's face. If you mouse over Kato, the buff he gives is actually +3/+0 in Overwhelm. What Overwhelm does is excess damage that's dealt to blockers is going to go straight through to the Nexus. So that's sweet because our opponent basically has really low health units in play. Even if he's blocks Zed, we're still going to hit face for a ton of damage.
Yeah, and has the benefit, because again, Zed wants to he has to physically hit the Nexus.
That's right.
In order to level up.
Oh, that's not great.
That's bad for everyone. I guess.
So yeah, we have the choice of saving Zed here, or we can let's check out our Oracle, or we can just kind of take the damage, which is a ton of damage, and then replay Zed. But the level up condition will be reset.
Yeah.
Because he'll have lost the experience. So either way, we're kind of like starting from scratch with Zed.
Yep.
I think we just take this.
Yeah, again, even though we buffed him, also a little complex, but when units come back to your hand, they just reset to what they were originally. So Zed won't even be buffed again.
Yeah, certain champion level up conditions will actually persist through all of the zones of play.
Yes.
In play, in your hand, and in deck, but Zed in this case has to be in play and stick twice.
If you're trying to figure out, usually the champion is marked as when I have done something.
Did they just play Katarina?
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is fun, right?
Is it? I don't know. You tell me.
It doesn't
you
look
vlog more games than me at this point.
It doesn't look like it.
Wait, we played an elusive unit?
Yeah, we have to block.
Yeah, we can play Darius, man.
Oh, that's true. He can block too. I never.
Right, we're gonna keep the screeching to a low volume. I think my parents are watching, so yeah.
All right. You know, it's been a long day for people here for the League 10.
So Katarina's level up condition is actually really straightforward. Basically, as soon as she hits, she bounces back to your hand and levels up. And then every time you play her from that point on, you actually get to reset your attack for the whole round. So in that way, Katarina kind of like bounces into and out of combat, and any of your allied units can actually attack over and over every time Kat resets too.
Yeah. She gets resets, which is kind of the iconic thing from the champion.
Yeah. Right? So our AI opponent, who's actually kind of demolishing us, just reset.
It's fine though. Star is going to get it done.
Yep. So yeah, so in that case, I think blocking the unit definitely makes sense because Kat has quick attack, which means that she'll strike first when she's attacking. Back to the hand, and actually he kind of congrats, he played himself because he attacked with Katarina. We're working on the AI too, guys.
You want to play unit or?
Yeah, let's take the W while we can.
Yeah, okay. Oh no!
Oh! Oh!
Never do it live.
Okay, misclicks happen. Yeah.
We're about to demonstrate something, and then I may have clicked the wrong button.
Yeah.
All right.
That's like anti-poggers.
We gotta keep blocking. Oh, that's okay. I was like, that's not how.
Okay, we're still.
Yeah,
We're still. We're still.
Yeah,
we're
keep
just
blocking.
gonna throw bodies in the way.
Don't worry, we don't need these
reset.
other units.
Yeah. Let's get the reset.
Oh no, what's happening? Ooh.
Okay, so thankfully, if Katarina returns to hand, the AI actually doesn't have enough mana. What are we doing, man?
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I thought it was the 32.
We might need to swap roles here.
All right. A good example of what not to do and why playing live can sometimes be dangerous.
That's fair. All right, you're gonna have one more
All right,
opportunity
you know what?
to retake your honor there.
Yep.
Usually when I lose against the AI at work, I try to close the client out before.
Yeah, you just don't. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty. I mean, you know.
All right. So we warmed up. We got all the jitters.
Yeah,
out
we got all the L's
versus
out of our
AI.
system. Let's do this.
Okay, I'm down with this.
All right, you're gonna talk me through this. What do you like or not like about this?
So I like Zed.
Yep.
That's kind of plan A, as we've discussed.
So Deny is a sweet card insofar as I think it highlights something pretty unique about our game, which is you can basically stop spells in flight, right? Kind of like dodging skill shots and stopping them in League. So Deny is a spell that basically whenever our opponents play a burst spell or a slow spell, we can respond with Deny and basically stop them dead in their tracks.
That was a good draw. All right, so similar to the last round, let's try and make Zed big again.
Let's get that big Zed dream.
Oh, he played a blocker. Can't attack.
You don't want to attack there?
No, I'm let my lesson.
No, yeah, that's the same move. Oh, great, the defensive spiders.
We're gonna need it. I can see the jump happening. So this won't come up this turn, but actually is kind of a decision point that happens quite often in Legends of Runeterra. Where
for our opponent, you mean right now?
Oh, for us actually, because if these spells cost a little less mana, they don't. They both cost 3. We could potentially pass, store the mana, and then use it to back up our Zed.
That's right.
With the way things are happening, we're probably just gonna go ahead and play our blocker. But
yeah, the way this deck tends to work out is we kind of need to figure out like what round is Zed going to be able to lane his attack and kind of save spell mana kind of preemptively for that round, right?
So this is more of a like, you play Zed on the turn you're planning to make him go big. Like,
Right.
You wouldn't necessarily play him
if our
now.
opponent spends all of their mana and we kind of have a window of safety where we think we can safely play Zed, immediately start the next round and have mana up to protect him, like that could be a valid strategy.
Okay, so maybe let's not play Zed right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it will depend on our opponent's regions and kind of what we think they can bring to the table. In this case, they're playing Ionia Piltover. Piltover is kind of one of the marquee direct damage regions outside of Shadow Isles. So they're really good at just removing our board and preventing our units and champions from sticking. Yeah. So in this case, I think we definitely want to be a little bit more conservative and save mana for that big Zed round.
Is he getting in there? Are we playing Kato on 4? Are we sacrificing the Order?
I mean, what's our play next round?
This?
No. Oh, okay. No, you're ahead of me. I like it.
I'm down.
We could have gotten in with that. Was it House Spider?
Oh, that's true.
That's all right.
I mean, the Academic's gonna be a bad time.
Yeah. So our unit there, every time it hits, it basically reduces that the most expensive unit in our hand by 1. So it kind of decrements our go off round by 1 round, right? So this round, hopefully we can drop Kato. Next round, we'll have enough mana to play Zed and have protective mana or aggressive mana to back him up.
Yeah, we have 1 spell mana, as you can see here, floating under. In fact, I can tell you what it does there. Kato probably not going to block, but you never know.
We're not blocking no bots. What is this, 2/5? Boring. Get
Golden
it out.
crossbow.
Get it out.
It's so cute, though.
That actually is kind of a problem now that I think of it, because that can soak up a lot of damage on our next turn. So I think the challenge is we need to be able to stick a Zed, and then our opponent will get 1 move to respond, and then we can swing in. And we basically need to hope that that 1 move is not kill all of our Zeds.
All right, well,
or Katos.
I'm down to take 2. Undecided.
Wow, they gave up their attack.
All right, I'll take it.
So I think what that means actually is they might not have removal in their hand, because if they did, they'd probably be more receptive to attacking 2/5 in, because then they could actually plink away at Kato this round.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we go with the plan. So we have 3 mana up, and we can basically either protect Zed with the Deny, or we can pump him with Twin Disciplines, which is basically a modal card which allows us to either go on kind of attack or defense. In this case, since we have Kato about to chuck Zed, we may just want to attack with them and then keep the defensive spells as backup.
I think so. But the coolest thing, and this comes up so often, I think, and the more I played, the more I was like, man, that's so cool. This one little spell mana that we've had for like...
Oh, it's crucial.
Like 3 or 4 turns maybe, is really important.
Okay, so they passed entirely, probably because they expected us to attack. But it also makes me think we need to worry about that 7 mana. So I definitely think not using the offensive spells and spending all of our mana is the right call here.
We also didn't get to see it last time because of some perhaps questionable plays on my part. But
we'll call them misclicks, mechanical errors.
Talk about Zed's level up.
In a TCG. Yeah, so Zed, we talked about kind of how Zed summons these attacking ninja shadows every time he attacks. Those shadows actually inherit his stats. When he levels up, after he or a shadow connects with the opponent's nexus, his shadows will actually start inheriting all of his stats and his keywords. So the kind of cute trick here is Kato gives Zed Overwhelm, and once Zed is leveled up, Zed with Overwhelm will give his ninja Overwhelm too.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm like, oh,
wow.
that's cool.
So he just I was too busy talking. What happened? Did you concede? It seemed like it.
Did some blocking. Kato took some damage. Quick attack Zed stayed.
It's a good thing we messaged to all riders to throw games to us when we're on the live stream.
Okay.
Okay.
Just chill.
So he's kind of going on an elusive plan. We don't actually have a lot of elusive in our hand right now. No. I think that's okay, provided he stops playing them. Yeah, what is happening? And our Nexus is still at full health, so I think we're not super worried here. All of their direct damage spells are also fast or slow. So since we have the deny backup, I feel really good about kind of
double deny backup.
Double deny. And our board is actually nearly full. We can only have 6 units in play at a given time, so House Spider is going to hang out. I think next round we might actually just want to go with everyone.
Yeah. I mean, there's some talk about the 1/1s running into the assassin, but it probably doesn't matter that much.
Yeah,
the one's probably worth it.
Outlived their, and like if they're blocking them, then Zed is connecting to face, and we kind of get to our win condition. So.
All right. So here's a small mechanical thing. You might have seen it when I played earlier, but you can do this, which is really cool.
The swoop.
However, combat ordering matters, which you just noted. So if I just do this, it's just going to dump them all onto the board. However,
that's actually pretty close to the right order though, so it's not bad.
But if you do them in order,
that's right.
It'll actually do them in the order you swooped them, which is really cool.
Oh, we're attacking.
Oh, of course we're attacking.
All right. So if we preview here, using Oracle's Eye, I'm pretty sure we have our opponent dead, yeah. So this is a great position for us because it basically is an alpha that didn't give them a chance to play slow spells or units. And it also is a lethal one, like we're repping lethal. So he has to basically respond here. Our opponent has to respond here to do something to keep himself alive. And we know if it's just spells, we have the counters, we have the deny backup. So we're in pretty good shape. If our opponent blocks and has spells, a lot of it will kind of depend on what he has, right?
Yep. But they have a lot of mana, 7+3. So the 7 regular mana and 3 spell. Uh-oh. Ooh.
Oh, they're clocking us though.
Where
deep.
Get excited.
Oh, okay. So we got the backup for that.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah, I think that's a snap. Snap to die.
Agreed.
Oh, we could have actually kept our Kato alive.
No, he's fine.
He is fine. If by fine, you mean dead.
Did we need it? We probably did.
I mean, Zed's leveling up, so provided...
This is what the people want.
Now that all of our eggs are in our virtual Zed basket.
Hang on, sir.
It's okay. When Zed...
But we're missing Kato's arm now, so you won't have Overwhelm.
This is true.
He will have Quick Strike, so... But that kind of doesn't matter on the ninja.
Oh, goodness!
Okay.
So we have a decision, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of save him 3 different ways, right? I mean, the deny will stop any other offensive spells. I mean, this is kind of the best use of deny, right? Because the other spell actually gives us the flexibility of pumping him or one of the other units.
Yeah.
Now that we have our opponent's Nexus at 7, so yeah, I think we go with the deny here.
That's true. And I think that last combat illustrated, like when you attack. I probably should have played a unit. When you attack. I need this precious pet, okay?
No, we just wanted to show him we have full control of the situation.
It's definitely not me aggressively misplaying on stream.
That's right.
Which I'm sure will happen also in the next few days.
There's an adage in design that those who can't play design, so you can be an honorary
Hey, I'll take it.
The rest of the stream.
All right, now we can get him in there. Old House Spider. This is really just a...
Now we've just gone with kind of one of your strategies, with more of a swarm overwhelm.
Happy to do whatever's needed. Wow, did you see that?
So our opponent just played Eager Apprentice, which is a
This card's
3
really
cost,
cool.
3 cost 2/2 that when summoned refills the spell mana. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the game because it allows you to take actions while still holding back a lot of mana and basically representing a lot of potential tricks that your opponent has to play around. The effect on the game is pretty subtle, but it feels super powerful and really hard to play around.
All right, let's do something fun. And let's do it the right way. First of all...
Provided funding equals winning. Fun equals winning. I'm on board.
First of all, you said it already, but to reiterate, you can only have 6 units on the bench.
6 units in your bench.
This is also true in combat.
6 in the combat lane, yeah. So I think you've arranged this attack correctly insofar as we need to leave room for the 6th Shadow Ninja to show up and be that 5/4 quick strike. So I think the real question is if we want to play burst spells prior to completing our attack.
How many burst spells do we want to play?
I mean...
We're definitely playing this one.
Okay.
I think
it's just that one.
Okay.
Because the other one, once our opponent blocks, we can go over the top, actually on one of the other units and surprise them. Because right now, basically we have kind of 2 lethal attacks.
You know what would have been a lot better? If Kato was still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That play was so long ago. Who can say? Who could say how history might have changed?
Oh, we didn't win, by the way. Just continuing.
What happened, man? We had the.
I didn't do math.
I mean, if we were playing spot lethal, I think Twitch chat.
They're already popping off.
Yeah.
I'm setting an example of how not to
that.
play.
All right. Well, if that's our strategy.
You're on the side of good here.
Okay.
You're detailing all the correct plays, giving design insight. I'm just here driving the ship straight into the iceberg.
Sold.
Regardless, our board's very full, our Zed's very powerful, and our opponent is in a spot of bother.
Yeah, this is kind of a situation where we're really starting to think about what could our opponent possibly have to get out of this. There are some pretty powerful kind of AE damage spells that Pilter can leverage.
Ooh.
Oh, this is interesting.
I like this card.
I don't think it's going to get there, but
it's cool.
Yeah, so Dusk and Dawn actually is a cool card that basically allows you to clone units or clone allies on your board. The caveat is they're temporary. In this game, they're called ephemeral. Yeah. So once they strike or at the end of a round, these units will die. So it's basically like kind of your last chance all in. In this case, because we have such a huge defense, we're probably fine. But also, he keeps playing units.
Just drew 3.
Yeah. So he just played a 6-mana 3/3 that discards your hand, redraws a 3, and deals 3 damage to anything. Actually, this is one of my favorite cards in one of my other decks that I play a lot, which is a Jinx discard deck. We're just
for the fans. We'll just
showing them. We still had all these.
Yeah. Kato's gone. We had to play a different overwhelm creature.
We'll just show the cornucopia of champions that we've drawn and our opponent hasn't. Has our opponent played any champions?
Sadly, no.
That's awkward.
It's unfortunate.
We'll take it.
Certainly will. After what happened in the last game.
You gotta start from somewhere.
But again, so much of this, I think, if you're watching, it's like, oh, I get it.
How did this become 5/2? I had no idea.
Oh.
Oh.
Because of the drawing.
This is what happens when we talk to each other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Astute Academic powers up whenever you draw a card.
What a great deck.
Yeah, that was sweet. This is actually a really powerful attack.
It's almost just strictly better than ours.
All right, we're just gonna go ahead and do some jumping.
Yeah,
it's safe. So opponent has no mana. I did check this time.
This is
I'm not just throwing the game away aggressively as per usual.
We could have blocked. We could have blocked the actual real one.
No.
You just got LeBlanc.
No.
Not inside one.
It's fine. I don't need that.
All right. I think our opponent's been a champ here.
Agree.
We should finish them off gracefully.
All right. Does this work? It does not.
Are we about to concede?
No. I don't know if it's something it was in, but when you press A, it just
shortcuts
spills all your units onto the board.
Yeah, it was a off requested internally feature, so of course we just said it.
All right, we did it. Lost hilariously to the robot.
Yeah, we got there.
Did get a W.
Right on.
Whew. So that deck was fun. I feel like we kind of illustrated what's going on.
Yeah. What's next?
All right, let's end some questions.
Right on.
Whew. Man, that was That was an experience.
That was nearly.
I enjoyed watching
by an
how
experience,
upset
mean,
you were
like,
getting with
nearly
me.
embarrassing. Yeah.
Nearly.
I'm lucky I have all this makeup
Nearly.
covering my emotional state.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break from gameplay to answer some questions you might have about the game. So let's go ahead and get the first question on the screen. From @NelsonAlec, what mechanics do you think make Legends of Runeterra most unique?
That's a great question. Softball. I love it. So I think we talked about kind of the marquee ones in terms of in-game. Obviously, we start with champions. Champions have a level up condition. They start super powerful. They're kind of like the build-around cards for your deck. And the second would actually be spells, and the way that the back and forth of the game allows you to interact with your opponent's attacks, combats, and spells kind of prior to that whole combat scrum resolving.
See, my answer is quite a simple one, because I actually think spell mana is very simple, very elegant, and one of the most unique mechanics in the game.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
We tried to show it off in and amongst my hilarious mess of gameplay.
Yeah, we showed it off by passing prematurely a bunch.
But yeah, I think Spellman is great, a super unique mechanic. Anyway, question number 2, what do we have up? Tyranor asks, will you be able to have more than 2 regions in your deck? Example, Demacia, Noxus, Shadow Isles deck. So this is actually a great question because the game doesn't do a good job right now of telling you what the deck building rules are. So what are the deck building rules?
Yeah, so right now the deck building rules are actually pretty straightforward. Basically, there are 6 regions, and players can mix and match for up to 2 regions. Right now, in the preview patch, players won't be able to mix and match with more than 2, but that's definitely something that we're excited about potentially exploring in the future.
Yeah, but again, you can have up to 6 champions, you can have up to 2 regions, and there's lots and lots of different combinations. I've been playing for a little while now, and I don't think I've played
Yeah, it's like
more
League of
than half
Legends, the tag team battle card game.
Yeah, exactly. You can have 6 unique champions, it's fine.
That's right, 12-year-old me is popping off.
All right, let's take a look at our next question now. @SheerMagic65 asks, how impactful will non-creature, non-champion cards be? The previews seem pretty champion-centric. They do, because I think they're great to highlight, but there's much more to this game than champions.
I think some of your favorite decks might have some non-champion win conditions.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I think players will discover very quickly that non-champions can actually be just as impactful as champion units, provided you build the deck around them. Obviously, with a max of 6 champions, one of the things we want to be really sensitive to is that they don't feel like kind of the aces in your deck, where either you draw them and you crush, or you don't draw them and you have like no outs and you have no chance to win, right?
Yep.
So our strategy to do that was to also ensure that some non-champion units could be reasonable win conditions for your deck. You just have to kind of plan accordingly.
Yeah, there's lots of different cards, so exploring all the different things you can do, especially without champions, is something really cool. So absolutely, you cannot play without champions. Question number 4, I believe our last one for this section of the Q&A is from @MisfitsGG. Can I build a competitive all-Poro deck?
Wow.
This is the question we needed.
I mean, we do have a kind of an internal tier list based on Riot play session, and I know we have a lot of Rioters who have tried really hard to make a competitive all-Poro deck. I think players will discover there's actually a lot of different Poro decks, because actually there are Poros in every region in the starting set. Some more viable than others. I think it'll sort of remain to be seen if how competitive truly ends up being, but my favorite one ends up with building a giant ball of Poros and then kind of chucking them at your opponent's face. Semi-violently, but also cutely.
I'm pretty sure I understand what that is.
I don't think that's a thing. That's all right.
I know what cards you're talking about. I'm excited to see if someone else does it. For now, though, I want to take a look at more of the game, specifically some of the fun deck archetypes we've already seen cooked up in the limited play we've had so far. So let's take a look. This is actually me also piloting your deck again, but a little bit different to maybe the results we saw earlier.
This is a game that's already happened.
Yes.
So it's a guaranteed. We kind of know.
I mean,
do we? You took the W here.
Do we? I don't know if we do.
I mean, it's going to be kind of embarrassing.
All right.
Right, Zaps. Here's your 15 minutes of fame.
Imagine if I did that too. I just like put
I'm like
the game. I'm like just.
You're not highlighting my deck,
just
man.
Just aggressively losing with your favorite deck.
So this is actually a scenario that we kind of saw in our live play, where you got the 2-cost card that reduces the most expensive units in our hand, and you're kind of setting up for our go-off round.
Yep. So again,
and aggressively trading, right?
Yep.
Well, you played it. You tell me what's going on.
I mean, I just like attacking. If I'm gonna be honest with you.
Always be attacking.
You know, you gotta do it sometimes. Let's play the assassin because it draws this card.
Oh, so much value.
It's on the card. Oh, it's so good.
No.
All right, so this is actually a pretty cool combo. We haven't seen Shadow Isles yet, but
Yeah, our opponent's deck is actually kind of outdoing us in the fancy factor department.
Isles has
like what just happened?
Isles has lots of really cool stuff. So I think the signature of Isles is probably Last Breath, which is basically whenever this unit dies, something happens.
Yep.
In this case, Curse Keeper, the unit he had on the board, is a 1/1 that can't block, which doesn't sound pretty good. But when it dies, and Shadow Isles likes making things die, both your opponents, both your own and your opponents, this 4/4 pops out, which is pretty good value for 2 mana. So if you can find a way to get the Abomination out.
You lowered him into a trap.
I did. He baited him with the... No one ever suspects the Blade's Edge.
That's right.
All right, so he's going to respond.
So our opponent responded by sacrificing his unit. We'll take that all day.
Yep. I feel like you meant to sacrifice the 4/4, but...
So quick attack is really bailing Zed out here because the 1 damage comes through and then the Zed attack resolves first.
Yep.
What's that noise?
Again, only works on offense, which is something that I definitely messed up.
That's right. Yeah.
The first few times I played with it. But,
This is like masterful play.
Yeah.
Where was this pacer time?
Look, I got nervous, I panicked. I, for some reason, passed for no reason when I definitely shouldn't have. And here we are. But you know what? The plan's still going well. We got Kato. We're going to play
Kato and Zed, our dynamic duo.
Yeah, this is, if you're looking to replicate what Andrew's got going on here, look for these 2 cards in your opening
You actually
hand.
have Kato's partner in your hand
Yes.
as well, right?
So Shiraza is there as well, who
Shiraza the Blade.
I think does feature briefly in this game, but not in a very exciting way for her, unfortunately. But again, same strategy here, buffing up Zed and the Shadow. Zed himself has Overwhelm, so he's now 1 Nexus strike away from leveling up. And it's kind of a tight one. We'll play this Herald of Spring, another support card.
We have good board position. I think something players will discover is that board position is actually really important in this game because of your opponent that opportunity to attack immediately before your opponent has a chance to play units.
Yep. Our opponent though does have a lot of mana here. Like 7+3 is like, oh goodness.
Is that what I think it is?
That's a Harrowing.
That's a 10 mana Harrowing.
Yep. So yeah, there are 10 mana spells in this game. It's also a slow spell, something we actually haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to respond.
Yeah, so responding by playing Shiraza, who, as I mentioned, may not be her shining.
Yeah, they took 1 action and played 6 units. We took an action and played 1 unit.
Seems good.
I mean, if we survive this, yeah. So what are you trying to do right now?
Not die.
Right that is the name of the game.
Harrowing though revives the 6 strongest units that have died this game. But they all get Ephemeral, which we did see earlier. So they'll only last for this turn. Generally, you only need 1 turn.
So this is basically zaps all in. We survive this, we're kind of good to go.
Hopefully.
Although he still also has 6 cards in his hand.
Yeah, it's fine. Isles isn't good at killing. Oh wait.
I also like to live dangerously. Oh look, we're sacrificing Kato again. It's almost like you know him personally.
Bye, Kato. I think we have to live.
Yeah, we're pulling out all the stops here, it looks like.
Yeah. I didn't check the Oracle's Eye of it.
Recall in this game is basically a mechanic that bounces units back to their caster's hand, right?
So in this case, temporarily removing it, it actually will go back to their hand. It retains Ephemeral. So if he wants to replay it, it'll still have that condition, but Ephemeral units only die either after they attack or at the end of the turn. So you have quite a while to kind of do stuff with them. All right, just play our casual 3/2 because we're trying to push in for some damage. And Shiraza will not be featuring in this edition.
So we basically have 9 on the board.
Yes.
And we know we have 1 in hand. Oh, but you wanted more, you were greedy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of mana, so why not?
Yeah, we got to do some damage.
Show them we still have these.
So again, pre-buffing the Zed. Burst is something that is a little tricky to get your head around, but basically think of it as like super duper fast spells. When you have an opportunity to do something and you play a burst spell, it just happens instantly.
Right. Yeah, and you kind of retain the priority, so you can continue to act.
Yeah. So in this case, I could just play it, attack with the Zed, go from there, and just finish off with the Blade's Edge, because that's the fancy thing to do.
Perfect. Perfect damage. Stylish plays.
I definitely had another buff in my hand that would have also killed my opponent.
I don't know what your opponent's 5 cards were.
That's true.
You just dial them up and ask him to concede there?
No.
Totally.
But again, it's just, there's so much in this game. Like, I'm great that we're exploring your deck because it's something I know you're very comfortable and familiar with, but Man, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of action.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to answer a few more questions. So our next one coming up here is from Bloodino E Elf BR. Do you believe it will be possible to create a good variety of competitive decks right in the beginning? This is a burning question for any long-time card game
competitive
player.
integrity and meta health where I think so. One of the things that we haven't really talked about is kind of what the composition of the Legends of Runeterra team is. And actually, it's probably kind of a poorly kept secret, at least among the pro community, that we have embedded pro players on our team from kind of the range of competitive card games already. And so they said yes. And so I said yes.
That's good. I think, like, to really hammer home, it's a very different system. It's a progression system that's gone through, you know, since I've been playing with it, at least a couple of changes. I'm sure many more since then. But the model really was designed to let you play as much as possible, because the worst feeling in any card game is having something awesome happen to you, like a Zed being buffed and taking you out, and being like, I want to play that deck.
Totally.
That's my thing. Yep. Why can't I do that?
Yeah, and I think you're hitting on a good point, which is like higher card access and the ability to kind of play the deck you want to is kind of point one. But point two also is we're going to have, I think, a lot more freedom and willingness to change cards because we know players are going to have access to more of their cards and more of their collection. So hopefully a change is not about blowing up a player's favorite deck. A change is about maintaining the health of the game and kind of doing what's necessary to do that.
All right, well, next question is coming right up. It is from @MG0001. That's a lot of zeros. Are the regions of Runeterra tied to some traditional archetypes? For example, Noxus aggro, Freljord control, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I think players will discover that each region has kind of a couple go-to archetypes or kind of speeds of strategy that they can operate in, but it's not necessarily like Freljord is exclusively control or control is exclusively Freljord. I think the way that we thought about it from a design perspective is actually more about those cross-archetype strategies and ensuring that there's a diversity of those for players to discover.
Yeah, again, like you'll get the identity of a lot of the regions as you start seeing them and playing with them, but
Noxus is aggressive.
Yes, Noxus
as we demonstrated.
Can confirm Noxus is aggressive.
When we actually cast cards.
We tried to demonstrate. Yeah, Ioun is kind of tricky. Shadow Isles has lots of things dying, coming back to life. Next question, though, coming right up, is from @LolTomarico. Will there be RNG-based cards, something like the random spells in Hearthstone or random targeting, something?
Yeah,
like
we
that?
have a sprinkle of RNG cards. We could talk. I could talk a lot for a very long time about RNG. We're not going to here, not the team, but the sort of the concept. I think RNG is really nuanced insofar as there's kind of good RNG that allows players to adapt and kind of show their skill and in new situations, and then there's kind of upsetting or like dramatically upsetting RNG, which is like, cool, nothing I did in that game mattered because the game ended on like a coin flip that nobody had control over. We're excited about RNG that creates more opportunities for players to show their skill, and I think players will discover that in set one for Legends of Runeterra, the cards that are RNG focused kind of are aimed at that goal.
Yeah, from personal experience, like there's really, it feels like very minimal. Like about like normal card game RNG, it feels like to me, and I've played a bevy of different.
Probably slightly under, yeah.
Yeah, oh, sure. Like it's just, it is important to emphasize that like every time I play a game against someone slightly better than me, I feel 5 times stupider because like the game rewards your skill so much, which is a really cool thing to see. So some RNG, but I don't think enough to make people too upset. Our last question though for the Q&A comes from @FPondering. When will more regions be added to the game, and will there be new ones in the game as well? Aren't you excited for this question?
I am excited. There's a whole list of questions that my team told me I couldn't answer.
Okay, is this one of them?
So I actually wore a shirt for one of the next regions. No, actually,
okay.
That's not the shirt I thought it was. Yeah, we're super excited to talk about our future set plans. One of the things we're especially excited about is new sets will actually feature new regions. We're not going to go into details yet or timing, but absolutely that's something that the team is delighted to get into with players.
So short answer, yes. Yes, there will be more in the game.
Which one is your favorite? And tell me why it's Void.
All right, we're heading off shortly, but if you want to keep up with everything Legends of Runeterra, make sure you're signed up for the beta at playruneterra.com. Don't forget, we're adding more players to the preview patch for Legends of Runeterra all the time, so to get a chance at access, here's what you got to do. Link your Riot account to your YouTube and Twitch account, watch the stream, and wait for the drop. That's it. You can sign up at playruneterra.com. Well, that's it for now. Thank you, Andrew, for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for tuning in to the League 10-year celebration. I hope to see you on Legends of Runeterra. Good night.